Hello! Outlaw show number 2 is here. It's in your ear. We're gonna have some fun. Looks like you guys enjoyed episode 1, and I know I did, and you guys like listening to it. I didn't see too much hate on it. Everybody wanted to keep doing the Outlaw show thing here, so I am. We got another episode for y'all today, as you've seen by the title or whatever you're watching this on. Robert Naklicki, the CEO, the president, and the owner of Redneck Nation Clothing. It is a killer podcast, show, whatever the hell this thing is. It's a killer one today, y'all. It's a little bit longer than usual, but it is entertaining throughout the entire thing. Now, before we jump into the interview, I got something I need to tell you guys, alright? This is some weird crap that happened the other day. Now, most of y'all know I live in the backwoods here in Missouri. Misery is a lot of people like to call it, but I got a brother that lives up north Missouri and stuff, right? Well, he's up there and they're doing like this carnival thing last weekend, you know, summer and all that crap, so there's all these carnivals going on. So they got this grand prize thing at the carnival, this raffle going on, and if you win, like you win this bass boat or whatever, like this new, really nice bass fishing boat. So, believe it or not, he wins. And he calls me up after he wins. He's like, oh my gosh, I won this bass boat, dude. Like, holy smokes, I won. I never win anything. And I was like, what the hell? You know, bass boat, that's ridiculous. So anyways, he wins this bass boat and he goes home and, you know, he's got a wife and kids and everything. He goes home and his wife looks at him and she goes, what the hell you gonna do with that? You know, there ain't no deep water enough to float a boat within 100 miles of here. You know, my brother, he's like, hey, I want it and I'm gonna keep it. You know, being the ignorant brother of mine or whatever. So, anyways, I wanted to go visit him a couple days later because, you know, I want to see this dang thing. You know, nice little bass boat, whatever. So I go over and I see his wife. I get to his house, I see his wife. I'm like, you know, where's my brother at? And she's like, oh, he's out there in his bass boat and whatever. And she points out to the field behind the house. So I'm like, all right, this is just ridiculous. I go out behind the house and I see my brother in the middle of this big ass field sitting in his bass boat with a frickin' fishing rod in his hand. And I yell out to him, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, I'm fishing. What the hell does it look like I'm doing? I'm just sitting here like, listen, man, it's people like you that give people from Missouri a bad name, making everybody think we're stupid and shit. If I could swim, I'd come out there and whip your ass. Outlaw. Happy 4th of July, ladies and gentlemen, in the Redneck Nation. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Outlaw Show. My name is Outlaw, your freaking host, and we got a special guest today for the frickin' Pendence Day podcast that we got going on here on the Outlaw Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest for today is none other than the CEO of the Redneck Nation and Cracker Cartel, the man who runs RedneckNationGear.com and many other social networking and merchandise sites. That man is Bobby, the Redneck Nation guy, Naklicki.
What's going on, dude? Man, I sound important.
Oh, man, you do.
A lot more important than I actually am, but sounded good.
I got to dumb it down a little bit. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Bobby.
Hey, what's going on? Good to see you guys. What's cracking, Cracker?
What's cracking, Cracker? So, yeah, I'm glad.
Thanks for having me on the show, dude. I really appreciate it, and I'm not even bitter that it's the number 2 show. It wasn't the number 1.
Exactly, but I know. Everybody's going to be bitter now.
You had a icon on here,
an icon,
mega star.
No,
you had the one and only Mud Jug 1, so I cannot dispute that. That should have been number 1 show.
And speaking of the Mud Jug, today is, you're watching this on Independence Day, or at least you should be. If not, we are going to when I do take my dip today, I will be spitting in the American flag Mud Jug that is available on mudjug.com. Look at that beautiful mother trucker right there. Yes, sir.
So that is a thing of beauty right there.
Yeah, so we'll frickin' save that for later in the show. But
see my shameless plug.
Oh yeah, all the mud jugs in the background. That's in the new Redneck Nation office there, the freaking cockpit.
That's right. We have moved. We're growing, which is we're blessed beyond belief. We're growing. We're in the new office, and we got it all painted up. Got slapped a new coat of paint on this bitch, and it's looking good, man. We're just trying to get everything situated, and we're in June, and we are freaking so busy, man.
That's good.
We're so thankful to everybody out there, and without them, we would be absolutely nothing.
Exactly. That's how it is. Without people freaking helping us out, we ain't shit. Now, speaking of the Redneck Nation, I am repping a little Redneck Nation today with my Redneck Nation clothing hat right there, and my favorite shirt that y'all have ever made. It's got the PBR logo, but it ain't PBR, ladies and gentlemen. It's pure white trash. That's freaking right. That
is one of our most popular ones.
You know, I went into Walmart like right before this. I went into the show. I went into Walmart, and this Walmart employee came up to me, and I get everywhere I go, everybody freaking compliments me on this shirt. Every shirt that I wear from you guys, I always get compliments on it. Especially when you're in the South and people they realize what it is. You know what I mean?
Well, that is awesome, dude, and we love to hear that, man. To this day, I mean, obviously we're nowhere near, where we want to be as far as growth. I mean, we're still growing and going through growing pains. The more, the more momentum that it gains, the more problems that you come up with because, you go from being a little kind of rinky-dink type operation to starting to have these, growing problems. But I still, to this day, absolutely love every time someone posts a picture of something that they got from us. Post a picture up of a Christmas morning where they gave some of our stuff. I mean, how ridiculously, unbelievably flattering is it to be a part of someone's holiday? I mean, that's Christmas. That's special for everybody in everybody's family, and to be a part of that, and for them to have chosen us to be a part of that, and to give that to somebody that they care about in their family is just beyond flattering, man.
I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, you guys, I don't know, some family ordered special shirts for Christmas, like their huge family of 12 people or whatever, and you guys sent them, and they all opened their presents and stuff with their Redneck Nation shirts on.
And to this day, I mean, listen, I love big, and I get hurt big, but to me, it touches my heart to have people, like I said, include us in something that's so personal, and so special, and to have an entire family on Christmas Day wearing Redneck Nation shirts is just like, they sent me the picture, man. I admit I teared up a little bit. I mean, it did, man. It gets me every time, dude. That we do something that people like and care about enough to take the time to snap a picture or take a picture or post a picture, and that means everything, man. And you know me, dude. I am on 100%, 150% of the time on every social network, Twitter, Instagram, and I try and answer back every single solitary person. I mean, to the fault of my wife is, it's making her insane, but I will always continue to do it, and make sure that I stay connected with the people that support us and help us grow.
Right, and when you put your heart and soul into something like you do, because I see Redneck Nation as when you go and you're in a small southern town and you got a lot of people that, they won't go to Walmart or they won't do this because they want to support small business. I see you as your company. It is an online business, but I do see it as a family-oriented, small business that, people dig. And they're like, you know what? Instead of going to Walmart getting a shirt, I'm going to go to Redneck Nation Gear, which not a shameless freaking plug here, but your shirts and merchandise are the same price, if not cheaper than the plain stuff that you can get at most places. You know what I mean?
Well, and that was the thing, man. Is when I started doing this, we trademarked in 2008, and when I fully engaged in the business and kind of took the dive and left the job that I was at. One of the things that I remember growing up as a kid, we didn't have a lot of money. And as a matter of fact, we were, my parents were working paycheck to paycheck. And I remember being down here in Florida, there was a whole surfing thing. I mean, it was Town and Country surf wear and Fox surfboards, and those shirts were like $30 a piece. And all the kids had them and stuff, and obviously everybody wanted them, but we couldn't afford them. And every once in a while, my mom would go before school and take us to Kmart and get us some Rough Rider jeans.
Yeah. Rough Riders. What was those other ones? What were those other ones? Janko jeans.
God.
Oh my gosh!
And
those look so. You look back on those Janko jeans now; they look so retarded.
and all shit, you had to have the Velcro.
Exactly.
But I think we had tracks, shoes, But
right.
Every once in a while, dude, she would, she'd get a little bit of money and she'd go to one of them places and she'd buy me like 2 shirts. And I remember, man, I was like, you feel good about it, man. When you got a shirt that kind of says who you are, or kind of, puts it out there, or, kind of, expresses yourself. Everybody always feels better when they got new clothes.
Right, exactly.
And new clothes, man, always, you could make over an entire person. But, my dad would bitch, he'd be like, those goddamn shirts are too much money. And my mom, my mom's thing was, but they're good shirts.
Mm-hmm.
You could go, back then it was Kmart, you could go there and you could get a shirt for whatever, $8, but it wouldn't last as long. So, the shirts were more expensive, but they were nicer shirts. And when I started this company, that was the thing I wanted. I said, if I'm going to take people's hard-earned money, and I know how hard it is to earn a dollar, then I for sure am going to make sure that they get every single solitary dollar worth of their money. And, that's why we do 6.1 ounce shirts, that, and one of the number one things that I get from people that, that comment or that tell us is they don't shrink up. And I did that on purpose because, you can buy, and I've seen some places out there, and I don't slam other companies, but I've seen some other people that do what we do, and, they use 5.1 ounce and, even lower than that, where it's like a thin condom skin, where you can
you see your nipples through it and stuff.
Dude. And to me, I was like, no. I said, and to my fault, I mean, sometimes it drives the guy that does our shirts crazy because I'm real meticulous, man. If it's not printed right, if it doesn't look good, I mean, he's done batches that I just totally said, you know what, they don't look good. I don't want. He's like, well, I'll just make you more, and then you can have those. I said, I don't want them. I don't want to put them out there, because if someone's wearing that shirt and they go and someone sees it and it's jacked up or it's crooked or it's this, I don't want that to be what we're known for. So
you never know when Larry the Cable Guy is going to see one of the shirts and thinks it's cool, but he sees a shitty shirt that you guys came out with and you didn't even want to, and then he's like, oh, I don't like it. Yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff. That's the way. That's a good idea. A good thought to have in your head when you're running a business too. Oh, absolutely. and before we freaking go on here, it is 4th of July, so we are drinking. Well, it's not 4th of July when we're filming this, but it is 4th of July for you, so we are drinking a little bit today, and we got our shine. You over there has got your apple pie. I got some blackberry shine. Now this isn't the real shit from the freaking. This ain't the real shit from the woods. This is actually when we went to Tennessee. Him and Bobby and I, we did the Dippers Retreat in Tennessee. What was it, a month ago about?
Yeah.
And we went to the Old Smoky Distillery, which was cool. We wanted to go have that little experience.
I will tell you a little trick on that. See, this is what I do. Is you can buy the legal stuff, which they have. They have, this one's called Midnight Moon, which I don't know. But this is not actually Midnight Moon that's in here. When we got the greatest fans. We go out to the mud holes, or when we go out to do shows with Jackie Bottleneck, they bring us the more free shine than we could ever do. So what I do is I got a couple of the jars of the fake stuff, and then I'll put the real stuff in there. That way, if we ever got stopped, or anybody ever said anything, or we were out and about, they couldn't say nothing. So
hell yeah, I
kind of do the little dummy thing, the little dummy jar.
Well, that's what's cool about you guys, because you don't just stay in house. You guys go out to mud holes and stuff like that, and you set up tables. And the best thing about mud holes is you are known. Like most people that are listening to this, if you guys don't know, Jackie Bottleneck, he was on MTV's Buck Wild. He had a couple songs on there. He is a musician, and he's a hip hop country rap artist. And what a freaking awesome dude that guy is. But anyways, we'll have him on in the future. But you guys are kind of known in coherence with each other. So, you'll go up and, Bottleneck will be sitting out at your table or something like that. And I bet you get so many freaking redneck drunk mother truckers coming up. Oh, you want some shine? Here we go. Because, those mud holes are filled.
I wouldn't have it any other way. And obviously we'll talk about how it even started back in 2008. But the people that I meet at the ATV parks, the mud bogs, are the greatest people on earth. They are the blue collar, working every day. They are the ones that build this country. They are the ones that the people at the top of the food chain, they get their money off the backs of the hard working blue collar people every day. And those are the people that are our clientele. Those are the people that are our customers. Those are the people that are our friends.
White collar always.
Absolutely,
white collar,
man.
Yep. White collar always needs the blue collar.
And you will never ever meet better people than I have met through YouTube, through Facebook, through just our customers, that have become our friends. You will never meet more incredible, loyal, trustworthy people than the people that I've come to, and that makes it incredibly rewarding to do this, to be able to meet those people.
Exactly, definitely. I don't even remember. How did you and I even meet? I can't remember.
I had Darcy and I started corresponding. When I first started, I had Redneck Girls Gone Wild.
That's right. That's right.
And that started when I was at the Polaris dealership. I was doing the financing there. I was making a lot of money, and I started planning because I had always gone out to mud bogs and stuff since I was like 16 years old, which is going way back. And
you old mother trucker. What are you, freaking 65 now? You about as old as Darcy? Jeez.
Exactly. And we go out and get the senior citizen meals together. And but of course I eat more than he does, so it works out.
That's usually hard to beat too.
Exactly. And I would go out. I started working at this dealership, and I said, well, why would we just sell them the ATVs and whatnot, and then they could put them in their garage? They want to experience it and whatnot. So I started planning trips. I would plan these dealership trips where we would go out, teach them how to ride. We'd plan these big barbecues. We'd go riding with the customers, and they loved it. But in the interim, we would go out to the mud bogs and set up for the Polaris dealership, and that's when I started, seeing some of the shirts and stuff that were out there. And again, I don't slam other people, but my thing is, some of the stuff that I started seeing design-wise, it was just kind of a saying slapped on a shirt, and there was really nothing behind it. It had no teeth. It had no depth. And I said, you know what, man? I grew up with some really talented artists, that are now tattoo artists that are incredible, so talented. I said, I could totally take this to the next level, make something quality, and I probably overshot the mark. I mean, I really, instead of just slapping some stuff on shirts and then trying to do it, I mean, I really came up with like 7-8 different lines. We weren't even really an established company, and I got like all these trademark lines. I mean, totally overshot it, but I say go big or go home, dude.
Exactly.
And that's how we started it.
And for example, you had Redneck Girls Gone Wild. You had the Redneck Nation. You had Full Clip, Horse Life. Mud Hole Kings. All these different types of styles, which was cool because you don't see a lot of companies do that, but it was cool because if you didn't like one thing, you can choose another. And
that was why that came about. It was like Redneck Nation's a very specific. It's a very specific product. It's a very specific person. And then I had, at the dealership, I had a bunch of guys that were in the military that would buy from us. I had a bunch of law enforcement agents. So that's when I started Full Clip. And then obviously we had people that were horse enthusiasts. So, we started all the different ones. But yeah, when I first met Darcy, we were doing Redneck Girls Gone Wild, and I sent him some stuff. And we had a website up for Redneck Girls Gone Wild, and it was no nudity. When it first started, the owner of the dealership, I came up with the idea, and I said, well, we go out to mud bog and the mud holes, we do these events, and what does a mud bog or a mud hole turn into? It's all about the girls.
Yep.
It all turns into the party after dark.
Oh, man.
The poles, the beads. That's what it turns into.
They start getting drunk. They get their bikinis on. They start wrestling in the mud. They start dancing. Once that music hits, dude, they go crazy. It's like being around in another planet. It's like, holy crap, everybody is getting laid.
Anybody, I tell everybody that, I come across people all the time that work at, when we rent cars to go do shows or we rent trucks or whatever. I say, if you ain't never been, dude, you got to go at least once in your life, cross it off your bucket list, and guaranteed, I don't care if you live in Manhattan. Okay, I don't care if you live in the most hoity-toity part of New York. If you live on top of a skyscraper, you got to go to a mud bog, and you will never be the same because it is the most fun you will ever have.
It doesn't matter who you are. Even if you're the yuppiest yuppie out there, you're gonna have a shit ton of fun. It is a lot.
And I'll tell you, when I was at the dealership, we would get these guys that came in. One of them was starting a bank. I mean, he literally was like starting a bank. Who starts a bank? Right. And he bought a Razor 4 off of us, a 4-seater Razor, Polaris Razor, and he tricked this thing out. By the time he was done, he had about $32,000 into this thing. And he went out there with his wife, and he strapped his little girl in the back. And I'll tell you what, this banker had the most fun he's ever had, and he was one of our biggest fans. And he would come out he would ride with us every single time. Yep. But the thing with Redneck Girls Gone Wild is, I'm not a prude, but it was kind of skating the line a little bit, and there was a section on there that was an adult section, and I do hear that. You hear that?
No, I don't.
Oh, it sounded like a truck passing.
Maybe it was a truck passing.
Are you on a highway?
I'm sitting in the middle of a highway right now. I'm in a turkey blind in the middle of the highway, so nobody can see
coming to you live from 95.
Coming to you live from 99 in a turkey blind.
But we had this site, man, and the thing that I found is it was more just guys wanting to go on and kind of being perverts and this and that, and and I have a young daughter and stuff, and it kind of wasn't where me personally, morally who I am, I didn't want to be
in that place.
Yeah, I didn't feel good about it, man, and I can't do something that I don't feel good about. Right. And so we did that for a while, and then we got a little letter from another company that sounds the same, that has no problem with showing young girls and flashing and whatnot. And
just take out the redneck, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. And they let us know that was obviously we had more Facebook fans on that Facebook page than they had on theirs. Obviously, we were on their radar. So right. The lawyer contacted me, and he was like, "Listen, blah blah blah," and he sent me this big letter. I called him up. I said, "Listen, I have no intention of keeping it. I'll take it down right now." He's like, "You will?" I said, "Absolutely, man." I said, "Listen, I have trademarked products, and if you guys are saying it's an infringement on your trademark, then that's fair, man. I mean, you guys are in business. I don't agree with what you do," and he let me know, he's their lawyer. He don't agree with what they do.
Right.
And but he takes their money.
Well, you know what? To tell you the truth, with companies like that, I don't think, because you're exploiting people other than yourself. But the thing is you'll get these big companies, even like, porn companies and stuff like that. Some of them you're just like, you know what? It's too good not to get into, even though I don't agree with what I'm doing, but I'm making all this freaking money.
Yeah.
That's where you got to be, it's about the principle.
And that's where the person's morals come in, and they say, is the money worth the trade-off for how I feel about myself, at night? Can I put my head on my pillow? So I told him, I said, "Listen, man, we're taking it down." I took it down. I said, "You know what? You can even have the .com. I don't even care." I said, Obviously there's a momentum or whatever. And so that's how it started. And then we went right from that into, doing Redneck Nation. And
okay. So now going back let's go all the way back now. Let's go back a little bit, all right? Now, you let's tell the story on. Now, you kind of already got into like how you wanted, why you wanted to start, selling shirts and stuff like that. But you were at Polaris for how many years were you working there?
I was about 3.5 years.
Yeah, and you were you always tell me you were making crazy good money. Yeah. And all this type of stuff. But I wasn't happy, dude, because it wasn't something that I wanted to.
I was a part of a team, and I brought a lot of stuff to it. I mean, I created their own social network for the, riders and stuff like that, and I planned the trips, and I enjoyed myself. I mean, I love my Polaris. I got a Polaris 800 X2. I've got a Polaris Ranger. I mean, still from when I was there, I love to ride. I mean, there's nothing like being out in the woods, riding through the trails.
I was doing that today.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like it, dude. It's therapeutic, and again, anybody will enjoy it. I don't care who they are, from what walk of life.
Right.
But to me, I had this vision where I wanted to create something that I wanted it to be a movement. I wanted to affect people and have them. And I know it sounds stupid through a shirt or hat, but that's someone's identity, man. That defines someone. That helps, that makes them feel good about themselves.
Well, then the thing is, like, people are like, well, you may not understand why I like being in a merchandise company. That's the point. Nobody's supposed to understand why you are in what you're doing, because you are your own, you're your own self. You're going to know why you love it. And that's how I really like hearing that story about people, why. Because me, like, for instance, I could be in Alaska right now making thousands of dollars, way more than I'm making right now doing this little show and doing my YouTube stuff.
But if you ain't happy.
Exactly. And that's
happy, then you know what? All the money in the world. And that's the thing is, I was making a lot of money, and I had a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of time because I had to spend the time to make the money, but I was not happy.
Don't get us wrong, because you still, especially when you're younger, you still have to be responsible to the point where if you're working at a coffee shop and you don't like it, let's say you're a country boy and you're working at a Starbucks and you see all these yuppies, city folk, mother truckers, and you're just like, oh, I can't stand this. That is something that all of us, and that I've had to do, that Bobby here's had to do, and that's something in your life that you have to get over. You have to do it until you can put yourself in a place where where you're happy with something.
And that's the important part of the story, because what happened is going back to when I was my father passed away. He left me an upholstery shop, and I started doing the upholstery shop. Took this upholstery shop and just went from 500 square foot to a 3,000 square foot facility, but I wasn't happy. So I had these friends that were actually doing these, they were doing artwork. I started making T-shirts back then. We're going back to like 1997. Before computers, before all that, I had to copyright the artwork and all that through the mail. And even when I was making money and had my own business with my, my father's business I took over, I still wasn't, I was doing what I had to do to pay the bills, but on the side, I was following the dream. Right. And then, of course, got married, had a baby, and my wife did, actually. And, life gets in the way.
Let's clarify that, ladies and gentlemen.
Life gets in the way. And, as a father, as a husband, you make decisions that are, that are right for your family. And I had to make those decisions.
Especially if you have a family.
Yeah. And now, fast forward, all those years later, I'm working. I was a manager of 13 cellular phone stores. Again, making a ton of money, but wasn't happy. And I happen to have a wife who's very supportive, and she, when I got to the point where I was just miserable, had all this money but was miserable, she said, you know what? You got to do what makes you happy, because I see you're miserable, and it doesn't matter that there's money in the bank, and let's do it. So now, fast forward to when I was at the dealership. I finally made the choice, and I put a lot of things in place to make that jump. I made sure I had money in the bank. I made sure that one of my cars was paid off. Yep. I made sure that there was fail safes in place that I would be able to then pursue it and not pursue it and quit.
Because you don't want to just be like, hey, honey, I'm sick of this crap. I think I'm just going to quit, and we'll figure it out along the way.
Exactly.
That doesn't end good for anybody, unless you're some rich kid who can, get money from their daddy or their mommy or whatever. But that usually doesn't happen.
That's exactly right, and that's to what you said. That's exactly right. Do what you got to do to get through the day, to get through and pay them bills. But if you really got something that you want to do, I don't care what it is. If you got a dream, be planning it on the side. My favorite saying that I came up with and I've always said is, if you're going to hitchhike, walk in the direction that you're going. So in case you don't get a ride, at least you're a little closer to where you need to be.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
And that's the same with that. I mean, you may not be doing what your dream is right now. You may hate your freaking job. But you know what? If you really do hate it and you really want to change it, then that's what you need to do. You need to start planning on the side and having that B plan, and then eventually get stuff in order and then say, you know what? I'm going to make the jump. Now, I will say it was scary as shit leaving that 9-to-5 paycheck every week, that money. It was horrifying. And it's like, you know, and I had, you know, everybody that knows me that sees me now, they're like, hey, what are you doing now? And I'm like, a t-shirt company. And they're like, oh, you're still doing it? Like, they're surprised that I didn't fail.
Exactly.
You know, because they were expecting me to fail miserably.
Well, and it's funny, too, because there's so many people out there that start merchandise companies. But I was going to bring this up earlier, is I see a ton of people out there that start these companies that, you know, they're selling merchandise. They want to sell hats, shirts, or they want to promote a lifestyle, right?
Sure.
That's what Redneck Nation doesn't. Well, you guys more promote like a lifestyle and family culture and all these different things. But some of these companies will come out and they'll be like, we want to promote a lifestyle and stuff. But what they do is they just put their name on a shirt and that's it, and they expect it to sell. And like what's that? Chive, that company Chive. Mm-hmm. I don't really know what the company is, but I know that they're like, oh, yeah, buy your new Chive shirt. Chive is the one that started the whole keep calm thing. Right. Keep calm and carry on and stuff like that. Now, that was, you know, that was like their first, because before that, they were just selling Chive shirts where it just said Chive. What the fuck does Chive mean? What the fuck? Is that a clove? What is that? A clove? You know? Oh, I want a shirt that has a clove on it. You know?
Oh, so, I'm really into cooking. I would like to get one of those.
Exactly. But once they started something cool like Keep Calm and Carry On that just blew up and still is. That's when it. That's when it started.
Interesting story about Chive and about Keep Calm and Carry On. I watched the show because I watch everything having to do with clothing and all that. You know And in World War II, they had made posters that said "Keep Calm and Carry On," and those posters. There's a lady that owns a bookstore with her husband, and she had one of the originals. And what happened she had gone away, and her husband had sold a couple of them to another guy. And the guy went and he trademarked it, man. He went and trademarked it, you know, and now he owns Keep Calm and everything that you see Keep Calm. And if people are making it, then they're stepping on his trademark.
Right.
But he had the foresight, you know, and of course now she's bitter about it and upset, and, you know, I'm kind of torn about it because, you know, hey, listen, this is America, and, you know, he had the foresight to go ahead and do that, and now he's making a lot of money.
Definitely.
You know? And, you know, with all different Keep Calm and, you know, Get Muddy, Keep Calm in this.
Man, you can, if you're smart enough to trademark something to where you think it'll blow up. Let me give an example here. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the birthday song, you know, Happy Birthday, that is trademarked, okay?
Yeah.
By one of the dudes who is co-owners of Warner Brothers Music or whatever, right? And that guy, just with that song off of rights and people paying him royalties and stuff like that, makes like $22 million a year.
Yes, sir.
On that song. It is ridiculous. So, and that's the same thing with like the Keep Calm stuff. I don't know, because I know a lot of people out there. I know a bunch of big YouTubers came out with Keep Calm. I came out with a logo that said Keep Calm and Keep It Frickin' Hillbilly, but I wasn't selling anything. But I know a lot of people do sell that stuff.
Sure.
So they're probably paying him royalties and whatever. So
exactly. And to your point, you know, and to your point about people just coming out with a shirt or something, you know, YOLO. I mean,
oh yeah.
Let's not even talk about, you know, how that unfairly blew up because
YOLO.
Yeah, dude, come on. But you know, there's you know, this industry, you know, it's funny because one of my favorite sayings also is first come the innovators, then come the imitators.
Exactly.
You know,
there you go.
And you know what happens is they've seen Redneck Nation, and they've seen that we, obviously have a little bit of success. They see that we're really, really, really integrated into, the social networking, and they see we're growing. They see that we have relationships with Moccasin Creek, with Jackie, Bottleneck, and, they think, well, you know what? I could build a better mousetrap,
Right.
and that's anything that you do. You make something, someone's going to see it, and they're going to go, well, I could do that, and then I could sell it, and then I could have my own business. And
Right.
the thing that they don't realize, or that they don't take into consideration, is there's a lot of hard work that went behind someone that's behind them actually being successful. If you see them successful, or you see something that they've got going on, it's because they've put the time and effort in.
Mm-hmm.
And they also don't take into consideration that there's no substitution for time. And when I say time, I mean, when I first started, if you go on my YouTube, I made like 2 videos and I was in my bedroom.
Uh-huh. I remember those.
I remember those. Oh my God. And I was like, I wanted to take them down, but I left them up. And, it was like, every day when I would sit there, it was lonely. I was like, what did I do, man?
Mm-hmm.
What fucking retard did I, move did I make? And left, job, and, there was doubt every day. And I told a lot of people, I don't know whether it was stupidity or it was just motivation.
Right.
But every day, man, I put my foot in my foot in front of one, and I just kind of forged ahead. And, thank God, 2 years later, whatever, it worked out. And it was also, just it was just sheer tenacity. I love to prove people wrong, dude. I love the fucking underdog.
There's no better satisfaction. There's no better satisfaction.
I love the underdog. I love the people that, that get counted out. I love the bottom of the barrel, the ones that no one thinks will ever do anything. In the Super Bowl, I always go with the underdog, because
you know what's even better than an underdog? You got an underdog that makes it all the way to the top and stays there. That's even better.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And it's just, like I said, I don't know exactly what drove me, and it was a lot of, I had a lot to prove. I mean, like I said, I had a lot of people that I had worked with in the Polaris industry and stuff, and they were like, so you're leaving this and you're gonna go sell redneck t-shirts?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me get this straight. And that's where, again, like I said, my wife is incredible, and she believes in me, and without her, obviously I'm nothing. And you got to have a good partner. But yeah, dude, 2 years later, met Darcy, and then obviously I think through you, I don't even remember the first time we met, but seems obviously it just was so matter of fact that it seems like we've known you forever.
I know. We've known each other for about 2.5 years, something like that. Yeah. And mm-hmm. I don't even remember how we freaking met, to tell you the truth. I think it was something about just me or you messaging me messaging you or something, and then we started doing merch. Because if anybody doesn't know, for the merch that I have on keepithillbilly.com, the Confederate camo gear that that gets printed with the Keep It Hillbilly logo, or new shirts and hats that are coming out, the stickers and stuff like that, all that goes through Bobby. And Darcy, because Darcy's the one that makes the Confederate camo, but it all gets sent to Bobby. He puts the transfers on, puts them on and stuff like that, makes the vinyl stickers and whatever, and sends them to me. And it's kind of a cool little, a thing that we got going.
It's a family, dude. Listen,
it's the Cracker Cartel.
It's the Cracker Cartel, man. We're running shit. Here's my thing with that, man. I believe that everybody needs friends, confidants. I mean, you need a support system. And when I started hooking up with Darcy, I mean, obviously I was new, and his company was already established at the time. And, he gave me some shouts out and stuff like that, which was awesome. And I had done shirts for Big Smo. A lot of people may not know Jeff McCool, that's now in Moccasin Creek, and Charlie Bonnet in Moccasin Creek. They used to be with, they were doing Kinfolk with Big Smo. Mm-hmm.
Big Smo is the guy who has one of his biggest songs is Kicking It in Tennessee. He's got Boss of the Sticks and a couple other songs. He's with Warner Brother Music now. It's crazy to see a country rapper and with Warner Brother.
Yep, and what happened was again, through Redneck Girls Gone Wild, he had contacted us because we had a pretty big following, and he said, well, I want to get some shirts and this made, and I said, well, I'll tell you what, I will make you the shirts for exactly what I get, the prices. And I told him the prices, and he was like, I've never heard prices like that. And I said, I'm not making a dime on them. I want you guys to succeed. I want to push you. And all I ask in return is that you guys push me. That's all I ask. I don't want to make 25 or 50 cents off your shirt. There's no reason for me to step on it. It's not going to change my life. But what's going to happen is I'm going to align with you. You're going to be a part of the team. We're going to be a part of your team, and we're going to become successful together.
That's what some people don't realize is they think, oh, no, money up front's the best. No, well, if you have a long-lasting relationship with somebody and they're growing, that means you're growing.
Exactly, and I call that the crackhead mentality. The crackhead will sell a $3,000 TV for $20,
right?
Because all they see is the $20 and they see the quick fix.
Now
I don't see that. I see long term, and I would much rather give him really great prices on merch, the same as I do with you. Give it to you for dead cost what I get, and you know what? You go make your money. You do what you got to do. You pay your bills, and you obviously support me. And to me, that has a value, dude. To me, that is the payment there. That's the value.
Mm-hmm. Now you're talking about the crackhead mentality. Well, we're talking about mentalities and theories and stuff like that. I want you to frickin' tell everybody what your tiger theory is, and because when you told me about that, I thought it was hilarious. And why don't you tell that in a short story, real fast?
Yes, a long time ago there was Siegfried and Roy. They were like two of the most famous magicians that were in Vegas.
In Vegas, yep.
And I was out with my friends at a bar. And they were famous for doing animal acts. They had lions and tigers, and they would make them jump around in ballerina costumes, and they would make them sit up and fetch, and they would do all these things with these tigers, huge 800-pound tigers. And one day we were sitting there, and this was years after they've been popular. All of a sudden, it was on the news that one of the tigers had tried to eat one of their heads. Like tried to bite their head off. I mean, literally clamped on them and tried to eat them. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure whether it was Siegfried or Roy, but they were good friends, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, that was worldwide news right there.
They were life partners, but
oh yeah.
This tiger on this day that they loved so much, that they always took pictures with and do all these things. He decided on that day that he didn't like what he was all about. He said, you know what, I'm a tiger, and I need to start acting like a fucking tiger.
Exactly.
And, everybody was all like gasping and all that. And I said to myself, I don't know why you guys are surprised, because he's finally acting like a fucking tiger. This is what tigers do. See, you have to know that, and even in life, you're going to come across people that are tigers. They may look good. You may have a good relationship with them. You may have even a marriage with them. But eventually, they're going to show their true colors, and their nature's going to come out. And if you ain't looking and you ain't paying attention, they just might bite your fucking head off, dude.
And that all goes back to real life.
Correct.
There's tigers in your life, ladies and gentlemen. Tigers as people. And you got to watch out for those tigers, man.
And that's it. And if you keep that in mind, and you just, you could spot them. You could see history and things that they've done, and you just keep them on, at the corner of your eye. You keep an eye on them. You can navigate through life with them, but you always got to know that they have that in them, that their nature is to be that kind of person and backstab and lie, cheat, steal, do whatever. And, that's basically the tiger theory.
Right.
But,
and now, have you... I don't want to name any names here, but have you gone with having this business? You do, especially with being a clothing business. Of course, you're more towards the blue collar, southern type people, but of course they're everywhere. Like Brantley Gilbert said in his song, "Country must be countrywide." But with that lifestyle and with the redneck lifestyle and the country lifestyle, you do have other companies out there that are your competitors.
Sure.
Now, with those companies, I've seen firsthand that companies, like you said earlier in the show, there's people that say, oh, I could do that. That seems easy. And they come out there and they do it. But you have tigers that come out and
Sure.
freaking they're taking shit from you, they're freaking copying you, you know, because if people don't know, Redneck Nation on Facebook, what do you got, 140,000 fans, something like that?
Yeah, I think it's like 130 or something.
Okay, so 130,000 fans on Facebook, so it's doing really well on Facebook and stuff like that. And then you got these other companies that come out, and when Bobby goes and he'll post a picture of something, of like of a mud hole or something like that, and he'll give it some cool caption and post it up there, and a bunch of people share the pictures, and, you know, it's a big Facebook page that, you know, you'll see when you're on Facebook. But you got these other companies that come up and they're like, oh, you know, we're going to do the same type of shit. And sometimes you'll see them even with the same frickin' picture or the same frickin' tagline. And when you have a company that they're trying to be taken seriously and then they do that, it's like, how do you even justify? Like, how can you even live with yourself? I mean, it's not such a big deal where you should frickin' question whether you should be living or not. But it's when you're taking away from somebody else's business by copying them and all this crap, it's really low.
It is low. It's underhanded. It's disappointing. But one thing that I've learned and you'll learn too, you know, because I am older than you, that, you know, when you
thanks for letting me know there, buddy.
Just a little bit. When you get older, you know, and one thing especially in this business is, you know, and I learned this back in the cell phone business. We were Singular Wireless, and there was AT&T was our competitor. You know, the thing is that you can't worry about what the competition does. I mean, there's going to be those peoples out there. There's going to be those, you know, those kinds of people that are going to have those kind of tactics and business ethics. What you have to do is you have to focus on what you do, and just like a thoroughbred horse, you know, you got to have them blinders on either side and just kind of focus straight ahead. You can't worry about.
Gotta have tunnel vision.
You can't have, you know, they're coming up on you, they're rolling up on you, you're headed towards the finish line. You got to just really focus on that, and you can't get. It's really, I think, you know, spiritually and mentally, I think it erodes at your core when you get so. I mean, I just got hit up tonight that someone told me there's a Facebook page that's got like 40,000 fans on it, and it's got my Redneck Nation logo. And it's called the Redneck Nation.
Yep.
You know, and, you know, I'll address it with Facebook because it's trademark infringement, blah blah blah. But I won't. I used to, you know. Listen, it's kind of flattering that you actually have something that someone wants to steal.
Well, and first of all, you got to think you are dealing with rednecks here, so it could be some guy living in his mom's basement who's 40 years old and he doesn't know which hand is left and which hand is right, and he's like, "Oh, I don't think they'd care if I just start this Redneck Nation page."
And, you know, I try to explain to them. Same with videos on YouTube. You know, if you post up a video of, say, you know, the same song or same video as Jackie or as Moccasin Creek, you're actually pulling views away from their channel. And they're like, well, I'm just supporting them. I'm like, yeah, but if you've got 400,000 views on, say, the Georgia Boys Riding High video that you took, and it's their exact video, you now took 400,000 views away from their actual YouTube page.
If you want to,
you're supporting them.
Right. If you want to support them, you share the video. You don't freaking take it and put it on your channel.
Correct. You know, and you look at that same person, and this is one in particular because it really bothers me when they do that. That person, you know, that I won't name, they actually put the video up, and they have like 13 subscribers. But this video has like 400,000. Yep. Why does it have 400,000? It has 400,000 because you took the video that they have on their page that they made, that they paid for, you put it up, and now you have 13 subscribers, so you're not doing this as a business, and now you're taking money out of their pocket just by and they say, well, you know, it's getting, but you don't have any links up of where to buy the music. You don't have any links to their Facebook page. You don't have any links to their Twitter. If you're going to do that, and I'm not saying I don't agree that you do, at least have in the description or in the annotations, go here, follow them here. Show me that you really want them to succeed.
I had a guy like a year ago or something like that who had a YouTube called Outlaw Fans or something like that, and he started a YouTube page, and he took every video that I had and put them up on this YouTube channel. Now, I didn't find it until like 6 months later, and this guy had like 1,200 subscribers and, you know, at least like 1,000 views on every video. And I'm like, what the hell? And everybody commenting on these videos and stuff thinks it's me.
Correct.
Like, really thinks it's me. And then they're getting mad at the guy because he's not commenting back or he's not shouting him out or something. Like, of course, you know, I'm not going to freaking, you know, do that even if they did it on my channel. But, you know, it's low. It's dumb.
And to your point, that opens up an entire new problem, and that is, what if they, you know, they start a Facebook page with my logo on there, and they start talking about something that I don't believe in? What if they start talking about KKK and racism and this? What if they start talking about these things that I don't want my company associated with?
Right.
And, you know, and the same with the video. What if you now, the rest of your videos are all hate videos or
exactly,
you know, something like that? You know, the company, you know, the brand that you built, Outlaw, the brand that Darcy's built, Mudjug, the brand that we built, we put a lot of heart and soul into it, and, you know, there has to be decisions that are made that make sense. I mean, I get approached all the time to have people, you know, be associated with us, and some of them I can't get behind because it's not something I believe in, and I don't judge them for it, but at the same time, I wouldn't give my permission. So, you know, it's important to protect you know, to protect that brand or to protect that personality.
And if you're gonna hurt a couple feelings along the way, but you know you're doing the right thing, you shouldn't have a problem with it. And people that get butthurt about that, those are the people that you know, those are the people that get eaten first in the zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
Well, we got a few minutes left here, and I want you to freaking I don't remember when it was. I think it was before I went to Alaska last year, and you and I were sitting on Uvu or Skype or one of these things, and you told me this story. And now, for people that don't know, Bobby has his own YouTube channel, a Redneck Nation CO, and, you know, he's constantly on Twitter, Facebook, and stuff like that, and his personality comes out in the posts, and, you know, when he has a Vine and an Instagram, and when he makes, how many Vines do you make a day? Like 10 Vines a day almost? I mean, he's got his, I think it's your wife's dad, right?
Yeah.
That's there.
Grandpa.
He's got Grandpa, his wife's dad, that lives with him, and he'll go and he'll just scare the shit out of him, you know, or something like that, and it's just hilarious, and his personality comes out on these videos.
Yeah, he's been living with us for about 8 years. You know, he's an older guy. He's 85, actually. I guess I shouldn't be scaring him on Vine videos.
Yeah, you're gonna give him a heart attack, man.
But
hey, it's a viral video right there.
If you know what the thing is if I don't bust his balls, then he thinks that I'm mad at him.
Right.
He's like, you know, so I get him to do the funny videos, and it kind of gives him something to do because, you know, he's retired. But I tell him all the time, I say, listen, why don't you go into the light already, dude? What are you fighting? I mean,
right.
You're 85. You had a good run. You know? You know, yeah. But you know, and I've also tried to get him to rob a bank. I said, listen, you're 85. If they catch you, you'll probably go to prison. They'll put you in charge of the library. You know, they'll call you Gramps, and you know, 3 hots and a cot. And if you get away with it, we get money. So,
there you go. Well, see, and you know, listening to this podcast for the past, you know, hour, whatever we've been talking here, you know, you've heard Bobby's personality. He's not a very sheltered person. He's very outgoing, and he told me this story. I think it was before I went to Alaska last year and fished. And this story, you know, this basically just shows you like Bobby's childhood and like the kind of kid that he was and still is. You know, he's still a crazy mother trucker. And, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, it shows you that, you know, no matter how old you are, I mean, I'm not saying you're old, but just saying like no matter how old you are, you're always a kid at heart.
Every one of your subscribers that's watching right now is like, yeah, he's fucking old.
How old are you? 40?
No, you know, Nick, come on, man, 43.
You're 43? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just old enough to be my dad. That's no big deal.
Oh, I don't want no custody battle with fucking Darcy. Come on, now, dude.
Yeah, okay. Well, he was a deadbeat anyway. I'd rather come to you.
All right.
Well, I don't think you'd want to have me as a son because, you know, you'd have me humping your daughter's Jersey Shore posters on the wall and stuff like that. It's weird, you know.
Exactly.
Go check out the Outlaw and a Redneck Nation video on my channel if you want to see me humping a Justin Bieber, a Jersey Shore poster in my underwear. Ladies, watch out. So anyways, you told me the story, okay? Now, I want you to tell this story to everybody because, and we'll close it out with that because it is freaking hilarious. Take it away, Bobby.
Which story is this?
It's the crazy mother trucking story. I'll give you a hint so you know what story I'm talking about. Truck and axe.
Okay. All right. So
that was an axe, ladies and gentlemen. A-X-E.
Yeah. So when I was, not the body spray either.
Yeah, there you go.
So when I was probably about your age, we went to a party. We were out at a mud bog, and we went to a party, and we, had a little bit to drink, but we were coming home, and we stopped at a gas station, and there was this convertible Mustang with these guys on. They had high and tights, and high and tight haircuts, and they the flat top. They kind of looked like they could have been in the military or whatnot. And they said something to us, and me and my friend, I go, don't worry about it, fuck it, it's the end of the night. So we started going home, and I started taking my friend to his mom's house where he lived. And at the time, I was moving, and I had all my stuff in the back of my truck, and I had a camper top with the shell pass through. So at the time, I had my guns and stuff in there. So they follow us all the way into his neighborhood. So we stop at the park. I said, well, I guess we're just going to fight them, dude. I mean, I can't take them to your house because then they'll mess up your mom's car and they'll destroy your house and they'll know where you live.
And now you were at the gas station. Like, what were they? What were they doing? Like, were they antagonizing you?
Yeah, they said something like "fuck you" or something like that, or whatever. And they were
you being you, did you say something back to piss them off?
No.
Listen.
I did say like "go fuck your mother" or something.
Okay, because I have experiences firsthand to where I don't remember exactly what it was, but we were in Florida. I was hanging out with Bobby.
Yeah, you notice how I'm making the story that I'm innocent, totally.
Yeah. He's.
I thought I did say something, and it was one of them things where they didn't right away. I guess they had to get up the courage after I said it because I stopped and and I said something, and then they didn't say nothing. But then I noticed they were following us. So we get to this park, and I stop in the park, and then they come over, and the one walks up, and he's got like a piece of paper, and he says, "You're going to jail." And I said, "Oh yeah, what for?" And he says, "You're going for this and that." And he starts naming off this stuff, which sounded official, and I'm young, so I don't know. And he starts taking my license plate down at the back. So my friend Darren, who's got long hair and wearing an Iron Maiden shirt, he's like, he's like 6'3" or something. So I said, "Darren, don't hit them. Don't do nothing. I don't know if they're really cops or not." So with that, the other two come around. So I said, "Well, get in the truck. We'll just take off." So I got in the truck. Darren got in, and I went to start it. One came up on the side, and he had a razor knife and kind of put it up to my throat. And the other one reached
kinda. He just kinda, right? Razor blade to the throat.
And I'm still saying, these are probably drunk cops, and if we do anything, they're gonna probably call back up and this and that. Mm-hmm. So again, still not doing nothing. Well,
because when you're young and dumb, you think cops are, if you get pulled over, you're shaking. You're like, holy shit.
Especially back then, it was a lot different. I mean, it was like, they could do whatever they wanted to do, whatnot. So anyway, the one disappears, and when he appears again, he's at the front of my truck with an axe, not an axe handle, an axe with a head on it, and he starts smashing the front. He goes, "I'm gonna effing kill you." Dude goes from "you're going to jail," like doing the whole cop thing, to like chopping up the front of my truck. So I'm like, what the fuck? Now I'm like, I don't care who you are, dude. You got an axe. You're chopping my truck up, so you're taking it to the next level. So I reach in the back and I grab out my 357, and I always left the first chamber empty because I lived in a house and I had a small brother. So I get out, I run around the side of the car, and now his two friends grab my friend, and now he starts at me and he says, "I'm gonna effing kill you." So I point at the ground and pull the trigger, and of course everybody watching, which is what happened when this all went down, said, "I would have shot him, I would have dropped him, I would have killed him."
Everybody says that. Everybody's a badass.
I had one person tell me they would have went to their trunk and got out their bow staff and hit it with. I said, "Yeah, that probably would have."
I'm gonna go Legolas on that motherfucker.
Yeah, hold on one moment. Let me go to get my Walker Texas Ranger staff out of my trunk.
My crossbow and go Daryl on his ass.
So when it clicks, he keeps coming. So now I obviously pull the trigger again, and I guess it nicked his shoe. So
you guess.
But now they all
did he go away screaming and bleed like a mother trucker?
No, dude. So now they all disappear. So now they take off into the park. So now I said to Darren, I said, we're going to your house. Let's go. So we go tearing off. Now as I'm passing the Mustang, dude, I was about centimeters away from unloading the rest of the gun into the car. Thank God I didn't. So we get to his house. We call 911. 911 comes. They arrest me and my friend, not them.
Oh shit.
And the charge. And so now we get arrested. They don't arrest them. They impound my truck, all that other stuff. Now I go to jail for the first time in my life. And I used to call my mom when I was younger, and I used to say, "Hey, Mom, I'm in jail," and she's like, "I'm at work. Stop freaking around."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "No, man, I was drinking and driving. I don't have time for this. I'm at work." So I used to mess with her all the time, but I never really got arrested. So now I call her and I tell her, "Mom, I got arrested." She's like, "I don't have time for this shit." And I said, "No, I'm serious." And she says, "Oh, okay, what did you get arrested for?" I said, "Attempted murder."
And of course she's probably like, "Fuck you," hangs up the phone.
She goes, "I really don't have time." I said, no, I'm serious, man. I said, it's the first time, but I did it big. And that was the charge. Anyway, long story short, they did investigations. I had to get this like big attorney. They wound up finding neighbors that saw. They found the axe, all that. They dropped the charges, gave me my gun back, told me, "Sorry, have a nice day."
Jesus Christ, that is funny, dude. When you, I think it was the part when you said like, "Oh, I think I shot his foot" or something like that. Dude, I was.
Well, come to find out, he had brand new sneakers, and the only saving grace was they took the sneakers into evidence because I nicked one of the sneakers. So he got his new sneakers taken away.
You should take that story to heart and be like, "Well, I'm going to start making sneakers that if you shoot them, they won't break." Steel toe, Redneck Nation steel toe boots.
Now I go into gun club, the jail, and all the guys are asking everybody what they're in for. I go in there and they said, "What are you in for?" So I tell the story, and this black guy looks at me, and he looks at the rest of his friends. He goes, "This nigga in here for shooting the concrete." And they were cracking up, dude. They're like, "Man, that's messed up." And again, I was saying what he said, so nobody get.
Yeah, don't get butt hurt.
That's not a good word to use. Obviously, Paula Dino will tell you it's not. Don't use it.
It's not okay for white people to use it.
Right. That's what he said to the rest of his friends that were, in there.
Oh, it's stupid that we even have to explain that. But well, it's been a good podcast, dude. I think we freaking we had a good little conversation there.
I feel good, man.
I think people know more about the behind the scenes and what goes on with the badass freaking company of Redneck Nation clothing. Of course, they carry shirts like this, pure white trash, and they got another shirt out there. If you guys have ever heard the Thrift Shop song, who's the guy that sings that song? Macklemore, Thrift Shop, when he goes, "Damn, that's a cold ass honky." They just got a freaking cold ass honky t-shirt. It looks sick as tits. And you can get that over at rednecknationgear.com. Shirts like this, they got you got at least over 100 shirts on rednecknationgear.com. I mean,
I don't know, man.
At least close. You got a lot.
And that's one of the things too, man. Is when we started doing the company and stuff. Like I said, I always like to keep it fresh. Like I always like to keep a good variety. I hate when you go to a place and they have like just some made up Rebel Rowdy or something, and they have it on like 2 hats. You go on ours, man. I've made sure that I came up with a system to where we have like 23 different hats, mossy oak and real tree, and
something for everybody.
A variety. Absolutely,
definitely, yeah. You got Big Buck, Full Clip, all these different cool companies. Just go over to rednecknationgear.com. I will put the link in the description box, and you guys can go check it out. Get you some gear. They don't just sell T-shirts. They don't just sell hats. They sell other stuff. They got paracord bracelets, camo paracord bracelets, and don't you have like American flag ones?
Koozies,
stickers.
And you know what, man? We wouldn't be anything without the people that support us. I love every single one of our fans. I've been welcomed to the dip community. I contacted you about the idea to do Dipper Nation, and now Dipper Nation's got over 1,200 people on it, and I appreciate everybody who watches the videos.
Yep.
I appreciate all the support we get. Intelligent Redneck, they're on Facebook. They're supporting Outlaw and myself. Moccasin Creek, I've been riding with them for 2 years when they started the band, and we've been doing it. Mud Jug, Darcy, obviously our partners, in crime, and yourself as well. All the people that, Jackie, obviously, him and I are doing Big Buck Records together. So, I mean, I appreciate everybody and appreciate every picture you send, every picture you post, every tag thing that you tag me in. Dude, I see every one of them, and I try and answer every single one of them. And you know that. I'll jump on Google calls. I'll jump on Uvu calls. This is my life. This is what I want to do, and I'll make sure I give 150% always.
You are a silly, humble mother trucker. You are humble as a mother trucker, and I appreciate that. And I hope everybody listening is.
You know what I love, dude? I love.
You love orange wieners like mine?
I do, but I love I love like Salt Life and stuff. Whenever we go to a mud bog, we're like the scrubs of the clothing industry.
There you go.
We're like the dirt road riders of it. I mean, we go and we got rebel. We got.
You're the rebels, renegades, and rednecks of the clothing.
And we show up. We just did the show with Jackie in Texas, and he showed up, and there was like 4 other bands, and all of them were like in costumes. When I say costumes, I mean pressed jeans. They had like these costume shirts on and stuff. And we come rolling up, and he's barefooted and in a Redneck Nation t-shirt. I'm like, we are the scrubs of all of it, dude, and I love it. Exactly. Every minute of it.
Yep. That's what, and that brings the most attention too. And that's what you want when you're in that kind of position.
Absolutely, man. I love being it. I love being the underdog. We'll take it any day, because you know what? I'll ride with underdogs all goddamn day long, because those are the ones, the mutts of this, the mutts, myself included. We are the ones that build this country. We're the ones that keep it running every day.
YOLO, bitch. Well, if you want to join the Redneck Nation, the Cracker Cartel, as we like to give it a little, the Cracker Cartel t-shirts up on rednecknationgear.com.
Yes, sir. We've got the Redneck Nation social network, rednecknation.org. We got dippernation.com.
Dipper Nation is another vertical they got.
Absolutely.
All you dippers out there, join the Dipper Nation. Dippernation.com, rednecknationliving.com, rednecknationgear.com. Follow Redneck Nation on Twitter at Redneck Nation, Instagram at Redneck Nation, on Facebook. Is it Redneck Nation on Facebook?
It's Redneck Nation CO.
Redneck Nation CO on Facebook. 130,000 fans over there. Make sure you join the club.
And I'm announcing it here. It's we're going to do like a full-blown behind-the-scenes announcement. We are doing Redneck Nation Radio. It's going to be a new internet radio station that's going to promote independent music, hip-hop, country rap, and country as well. And I've already talked to Derek with Georgia Boys, Moccasin Creek, Jackie Bottleneck. It's going to be a little radio station you can go on, minimize it down, and listen to some good country music. And it's going to have all those guys' information on there to help promote them and get them, push them even further than they already are.
That's a freaking killer idea, too, because when people are on the go or they're freaking just sitting around there, on Facebook and something like that, they got Redneck Nation Radio playing in the back. And it supports, people, because country rap, and I'm going to get into this further because I'm going to actually have country rappers and hip-hop artists and musicians going to be on the show in the future. So, we'll get more into that, but just supporting them because it is getting bigger, and people are getting more exposure, getting on TV shows, getting up there in the CMT world and stuff. That's when it starts getting big, and it's getting to that point. But like Bottleneck says, Redneck Nation, join the ride, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good place you want to be. It's family-oriented, and we all take care of each other. If you want to do it, like I said before, Twitter. What's your Vine? Is it Redneck Nation?
Redneck Nation, yep.
Yeah, Redneck Nation on Vine. Make sure you follow this mother trucker on Vine. You will be entertained all day with his Vines. It is hilarious. And also Instagram at Redneck Nation, because he'll put some videos up over there and stuff, and some cool pictures and all that good stuff. But Bobby, it has been a pleasure having you on, man. It was good, hearing the background stuff, and I'm sure everybody who's listening to this show and stuff like that, they rep Redneck Nation, and if they didn't know what it was before, I guarantee they do now.
Well, I appreciate you having me, man, and I think it's going to be a great show, great format, and we love you guys. We love everything you do, and keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking, mother truckers. Well, thank you. This has been episode 2 of the Outlaw Show. I hope all of you enjoyed it. This was a little bit longer, but we were just having so much fun we couldn't frickin' quit. Now I'm going to end this little interview part with Bobby here. I'm going to catch him maybe off guard, but he came out with a video a while back. This kayak, does that frickin' ring a bell? I want you to end the frickin' thing, the podcast with that shit, bro. Take it away, you silly little bitch. He's trying to remember. He's like, what did I say? I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
Listen up, you dipping sons of bitches! Real men dip fucking apple kayak, cause it's cheap as shit, and I'm broke as fuck!
Sick as tits. That's how we do it, baby. Keep it frickin' hillbilly. Thank you, Bobby. Redneck Nation, bitch. Outlaw.
Yellow. What's up? All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that. It was Bobby. Hope you guys got to see a little bit behind the scenes of what's going on with Redneck Nation clothing. I know I did, and it was fun. Was it fun? It was fun for me. Was it good for you? All right. Got a little code here. If you guys want to go over to rednecknationgear.com and get yourself some killer merchandise they got over there, just use the code USA and get 25% off your order. You can't beat that, ladies and gentlemen. Sick as tits. So it's going to be sweet. All right, so use that code if you want. I don't know how long that lasts, but I suggest you do it now. I'm trying to put this thing up on iTunes. It's still not up yet. The problem is I want to put this thing up for free. Because we ain't got no money, right? We ain't got no gosh dang money. So, I'm going to try to put this thing up for free, but the problem is you got to pay to host it on iTunes. So, what I'm going to do is, I give this to you guys free, every week and stuff like that, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. And but it costs money to make the show, and it costs money to, have guests on and freaking, put it up on iTunes and stuff like that. So, if you want to support, I should be having some new merchandise over at keepithillbilly.com, my website, soon. Right now, I do have some Confederate camo Keep It Frickin' Hillbilly long sleeve shirts left, but they're only available in 4XL. So I only got like 2 or 3 left. So if you're a 4XL out there, I'm having trouble selling these because there's not too many people 4XL out there. Well, there is, but I'm just clarifying that it's a harder size to sell. So if you're 4X out there and you want a Confederate camo Keep It Frickin' Hillbilly t-shirt, just go to keepithillbilly.com, get you some. I only got a couple left, and then the new merch will be out hopefully in the next week or so. Also, I'm going to open up advertising to any companies out there, anything that want to advertise here on the Outlaw Show. Send me an email over to outlawdipper@gmail.com. Subject advertising, and we'll try to get you squared away. All right, y'all. I think that'll do it for today. I think the next podcast, show, whatever. What the hell should we freaking call this thing? Just show? Jeez, I keep saying podcast, but it just sounds weird. Everybody has a podcast nowadays. But, yeah, next show. Next guest. Should we play Guess the Guest? Should we play Guess the Guest again? Well, the only thing I gotta say is he's the honky Kong, and he's the only one who reps it. Whoa. Can anybody guess who the guest for next week? Go ahead and leave it in the comments below. All right, and that that show will be up on Tuesday instead of Thursday for a special reason. So that might give you another clue. So, next show will be up on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, not Thursday. Just to let you know. Right here on the Outlaw Dipper channel. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. My name is Outlaw, your host here on the Outlaw Show. Make sure to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe today. Share it if you liked it and all that other good YouTube crap. All right. I love you guys. Always remember, no matter what you're doing, it's not just a saying, it's a lifestyle. 24/7, always remember to keep it frickin' hillbilly.